And we're back. I just happened to be watching the night that Graham Kurtzinger appeared on Child Genius. That's a show seen on the Lifetime channel. And he made us all proud. And I got to tell you something, I was not at all prepared for what I saw on that program. First of all, they were asking these very young children of ours, children from Oklahoma and around the country, questions that I had trouble understanding. But young Graham stood there like a veteran, stood there and answered like someone much older, and the results finally were announced and everybody was thrilled to death. Take a look at what happened.
I am ready to win this thing. I don't know if I will, but I'm ready to win this thing. 8 weeks of studying. I'm ready to win.
Welcome everyone to the Child Genius Finals.
38.
Correct.
56.
Correct.
62.9.
Correct.
Ungulates.
Correct.
Pupil.
Correct.
Austria.
Incorrect. Poland.
Monotreme.
Correct.
Pass. Lake Huron.
Correct. You answered 14 questions correctly. Great job. You answered 13 questions correctly. Great job. You answered 9 questions correctly. Great job. Catherine, you answered 7 questions correctly.
Yeji actually exceeded my expectation.
Congratulations, competitors. You have all done an outstanding job. In third place, Graham. In second place, Yeji. And that means Vanya, you are the winner of Child Genius 2015 and the $100,000 college fund. Congratulations.
Child Genius champion.
And I have to tell you, when they named Graham, I was up cheering. I was standing up in my den, just, yeah, all right, go Graham. And we've got you here today. It's very good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And this is your mom, Tracy.
Nice to meet you.
Before we start talking, the two of us, I'm going to ask your mom a couple of questions, okay?
Okay.
When did he start to exhibit tendencies that you thought, maybe we ought to have this checked?
He was very young. At less than 1, he was already talking. So he could talk in sentences, but he couldn't walk. So his brain was just moving faster than his body. And then at 3, he he loves the Air One radio station and would learn all the music and would know who wrote and the names of every song that came on.
When he was 3?
When he was 3. Yeah, so we'd be at a restaurant eating as a family and go, oh, that's Chris Tomlin, and would know exactly what he was singing. It was, and all of our family, all the cousins and everyone would be like, what?
You know, if that happened in my family, we'd all start sleeping with the lights on because it would scare us to death, you know?
What?
I would be amazed if now there are other children in the home?
Yes, we have 4 children. Graham's our second.
Are they starting to show signs?
They're also extremely bright, and they're gifted in lots of other areas also.
Mm-hmm. So we may see all kinds of innovations come from this family. This is pretty amazing stuff. Well, Graham, I have to tell you, my young friend, you've impressed a lot of people,
Thanks.
myself included. Let's go back to your being on the show. What happened? How did they find you in Verdigris and bring you from the 5th grade to the taping of a nationally seen television show?
Well, I'm in this thing called the Davidson Young Scholars, and every Friday night they put out a post, and sometimes they have things that you can be on TV, and so we just took one, and then we filled out this thingy about what I like and stuff. I don't remember, it was a while ago. And they started Skyping us, and more, and then it went on further, and then somebody came to our house, and it went all the way down to when it aired.
When I first met you, back in the Brown room, we'll call it, When I first met you a little while ago, you struck me as just a typical all-American boy. There was no indication to me that you were so much smarter than me that I ought to keep my mouth shut and get you to talk. Do you feel any different from the other kids? Do they treat you different?
Well, before the show, they didn't treat me any different, and I didn't feel any different. And after the show, they kind of started treating me different because I was on TV. So.
I bet the girls just flocked around you, didn't they?
Oh, you should have seen Instagram. It was like, can I marry you? You're my babe, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I'm too young for this stuff. But apparently Instagram's not.
What's your strong point? What interests you most in your studies?
Airplanes.
Think you might pursue?
When we were going to the show, I had only flown once. Like I flew to Dallas and back with my Nana on a trip to Six Flags, even though I hate roller coasters now, but I didn't back then. But so when we were going to California, I got to fly on an airplane back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so I kind of got interested in airplanes, and since it was taped in July, about a month later, I started to get a little bit more and more interested in it, and then I started Wikipediaing it, or however you would say that, started Googling it and read about it and started drawing pictures of them.
Certainly, certainly. What do you think you're weakest in?
Gotta be math. I am not good at math.
Really?
I hate math. Well, I hated it more in 4th grade, but I got a good teacher this year, so I don't hate it as much, but I still hate it. Nobody can change that. I hate math.
You might be surprised. You might be surprised. Someday, something's going to come along and say, excuse me, Graham, let me show you how easy this really is. And the light bulb is going to go off, and you'll say, I understand this now.
I wish that could come sooner.
I'd be curious to know, down the road, with all your abilities, what do you see yourself doing as an adult?
Well, my obsessions, like, they change a lot. Like, it was the songs on the radio and when I was in pre-K, and then it got, I got interested in the world and the capitals of other countries, and then I don't remember what was after that. I'm trying to remember.
Bridges.
Bridges, yeah, bridges and roads, and then it got to Pitcher, Oklahoma. I was obsessed with that for a little bit. I was obsessed with roller coasters after I went to Silver Dollar City because I hated it. and then it was hurricanes, and then it was airplanes. So,
Takes a lot to keep you going, doesn't it?
Yes. So when I'm an adult, it'll probably change to something else. I probably won't be some airplaneologist or whatever you call it.
Airplaneologist. There you go. If it's not there, make it up. I like that. So you don't know for sure what you want to do when you grow up?
Well, right now I want to be somebody for Boeing Boeing. Or design an airplane for Boeing or something.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if they don't contact you pretty soon and say, we got a problem with the tail section. Do you mind coming over and taking a look at these plans? Because that happens. You know, the beauty of it is his mind is so open, he's not ready to close it down and say, oh, well, that won't work, because he might see something everybody else misses. Do you have a problem with homework?
I hate homework.
Oh, don't we all? But when you come home, can you get through it pretty quick?
Well, it depends if I like it. If it's math, it takes me a little bit. If it's social studies, which I did the homework on, it would annoy me because it was really easy, so I just sit there and like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, you know, as I watched you on the Child Genius show, I was struck by the fact that you were so at ease in front of everybody. There didn't seem to be anything that troubled you or bothered you. You weren't embarrassed by anything or put off by anybody. What does that come from?
Well, kind of just from being on TV, kind of.
I'm sorry?
Kind of just from being on TV, kind of how that happens.
So you think you might end up in television someday?
I don't know.
Well, let me tell you now, go into sales, okay? That's where the money is.
I want to have 6 kids, so I got to have a lot of money to.
You want to have 6 children?
Yes, everybody thinks I'm insane.
Oh,
but
Lord. Well, I hope they're all as bright as you are. Graham, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
And Mom, pass on to your husband, his father, and to your children at home. We are sharing in your pride.
Thank you so
And
much.
we're grateful you both took the time to be here, okay?
Thanks.
And we'll be back right after this.